What is going on, everybody? Moniz here, and welcome to my unboxing of the Apple Watch Series 4. This is, in my opinion, the most important product that Apple has announced this entire year. Forget about the iPhones. This right here is impressive. This is the smartwatch I've always wanted for the past few years. You see, the Apple Watch Series 4 is a special product because it can do things that no other smartwatch can. The Apple Watch has come a long way. Wow, okay. I like this unboxing. I think that looks kind of nice the way they did the inside of the box with the cool, colorful watches surrounding the entire area. A lot more presentable than the iPhone, and the iPhone costs a lot more. But let's open up the loop first and see exactly how this thing feels. So yeah, I mean, it's impressive what they've done with the Apple Watch Series 4. I mean, back in the day when they had the Series 1, that thing was an absolute dumpster fire. It was just really poor optimized. The software experience was terrible. It just looks like Apple threw a bunch of stuff at it to make it work. Then, okay, forget, I'm going savage. Then, when Series 2 came around, they really cleaned things up. They basically redid the entire thing to make it a better experience. So inside of here, you got instructions on how to install bands for the watch. I already know how to do that, so I'm gonna place this to the side. And here's the band itself. Oh my God, this thing feels like crap. Honestly, it feels like they just went and took a piece of Velcro and attached it to two pieces to attach to your watch. My God, Apple, what are you doing to your users? For 600 Canadian dollars or Canadian rupees, I should get something a little bit more premium than this. This is terrible. More instructions, I'm placing that to the side. And here we have it. We have the charging cable. This will allow you to charge your watch whenever you're at home. We have another non-fast charging brick. I already gave you my 2 cents about this with the iPhone Max. And here it is, the Apple Watch. Wow. So this is the 44mm version. It comes in this little man purse that I'm taking out right now. And as you can see here, the display itself is bigger than last year's Apple Series 2. To give you guys some context, you can see it's definitely a little bit wider, but they've also thinned out the device to make it a lot more comfortable to wear on your wrist. I don't know if you guys can see this, but if I put it side by side like, ooh, magnets. If I put it side by side like this, you can tell that the new Series 4 is a little bit thinner than the Series 2. All right, so we got the watch set up and we're introduced by one of the most hideous watch faces in the world. This, my friends, is the first thing you're gonna see when you load up your watch. Now, I get it. Some people like this. Some people want tons of information packed onto the screen so they can basically get as much info as they can when they glance at their wrist. But come on, Apple. This is Apple we're talking about. You guys are supposed to make nice things. This looks really, really bad. Yeah, I mean, you have what? The weather on the top right. You can set up your activity. You have the time, the calendar. You have a bunch of different time zones. You have the UVI index, which is probably something I'm never going to use. But thankfully, if you don't like it, you can go ahead and change it. There's some other awesome time faces that you can take a look at. This one here is pretty cool. The one with things pulsing. So like vapor, for example. I think that's pretty badass. They actually filmed this in real life to put on their watch screen. I think it gives the watch a nice touch. So the first thing that I noticed basically going through the entire menu is how much bigger the text is because you have a bigger screen that you can utilize. I actually don't mind looking at the text on this screen. I don't mind reading things on it. I mean, I wouldn't sit there all day for 5 hours and basically browse the web, but being able to, ooh, now that's nice. So I just turned the crown and there's a nice haptic feedback. This is nice. I like that. Very nice touch, Apple. Now also, as you can see here, I did not get the LTE version. I don't think it's worth the money for someone like myself. I always have my phone on me anyways. Then on top of that, you gotta pay an extra 10 bucks a month or $5 a month for an eSIM. I don't think it's worth the money unless you live outdoors without a phone. Now, I'm not gonna go through the entire setup process just because, I mean, a lot of it's more of the same, but I just think this is such a great device for the reasons I mentioned earlier in this video. I mean, it even has a feature that tells you whether or not you've fallen onto the ground. I know a lot of people out there are making fun of this, but imagine you give this to your grandfather. He's 70 or 80 years old. He has a wipeout. He falls onto the floor. He can't get to the phone because he broke his hip. I mean, having the watch on your wrist and assuming it does work and it does call authorities, that's a lifesaver, guys. That is a big deal. And the last thing, and the one that really resonated with me a lot, is the EKG thing, or the ECG or EKG. I think it's EKG. Being able to do that on a watch is a breakthrough, at least on a consumer product. There's other things you can get out there that will measure it, but usually you have to go through a doctor to get that. Being able to do that on your watch is huge. Being able to monitor your heart and pass that information to your doctor is amazing. My father, who has AFib or atrial fibrillation, basically means that his heart has an irregular rhythm. If it goes too fast, a few things could happen. He can have a heart attack, thank God he hasn't yet, or he could pass out because his heart rate is going too fast. Being able to detect that on this phone with a regular heart monitor plus the EKG is a breakthrough. You can look at it, say, okay, my heart's going too fast. I gotta get to the hospital. I gotta get it reset before things get pretty bad. So overall, I am super impressed. And like I said before, this is my most favorite device that Apple's released this year. Build quality is even better. You have ceramic on the back with a sapphire crystal, but my God, this band! This is so cheap. Honestly, I really think Apple just took some Velcro and attached part of my mom's rug from upstairs to the band. That's literally what they did. Cheapest band I've ever used in my entire life for $600. Come on, dudes. You guys are supposed to be about craftsmanship, and this is pathetic. Anyways, that wraps up this unboxing of the Apple Watch Series 4. If you have any questions, if you want me to test anything out on this device, let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, hit me up on Discord. If you want to see behind the scenes, follow me on Instagram. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.